every new ribbon and mark on one Pokemon. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Ribbons Guide by SirToastyToes. And this is going to be a follow-up from the prior video where we brought a Coliseum purified shiny Scizor up and through, Legends Arceus up through BDSP.
Ah, the Paldea region, home to new Pokemon, new friendships, and most importantly, new ribbons. It's been exactly a year since I first talked about Toast's ribbon journey through generations 3 through 8, and now that Pokemon Home has finally been updated, we can finally transfer into Scarlet and Violet. Come along with me as we journey through this new region and see what achievements we can collect.
He looks so sick. I do love Scizor's, the shininess. Like, they really nailed the texture on Scizor. I very much am a fan of this model.
Before I begin, I have an announcement that's not actually a sponsor this time.
Amazing.
Toast merch. Well, rather a sticker designed by the person who does almost all my art, Chota
That's so
Khan.
good.
I've had these for months waiting for Pokemon Home, and after finally figuring out what we'll be able to obtain in Paldea, you can order these from her Etsy shop starting on my birthday, June 10th. The sticker comes in 2 sizes, 3-inch and 2.5-inch, and you can receive 2 colors with each order. We have the classic gold color Scizor that it has in Pokemon Coliseum, as well as the lime color Scizor seen in every game since then. With that out of the way, on to our ribbons. Before we actually go to the Paldea region, we already have a new ribbon on Toast, or at least we can finally see it. The Hisui ribbon is one that I drew special attention to in my last video, as it existed in the internal files of Legends Arceus as the Pioneer ribbon, but it never showed up on the ribbon screen in Pokemon Home or any of the games, despite seemingly counting as one of the 10 ribbons needed to gain entry into the Ribbon Syndicate in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
The Syndicate!
Finally visible after well over a year, this ribbon is awarded for preparing your Pokemon for a photo in the Jubilife photography studio.
Dude, I love that it's like just the Ribbon Syndicate. I love the concept that this is just an organized crime. Something about headcanoning just, big strong muscle bouncers just like, you got your 10 ribbons? No. And they're like Machamp just like throw you out. It's so good.
Now that we know it's there, Toast's ribbon count goes up to 89.
Nice.
Another ribbon that has been revised in Generation 9 is the Battle Memory ribbon, which used to require you to get all 8 Battle Tower ribbons from Hoenn and Sinnoh in Generation 3 and 4 to be the gold color. Game Freak seems to have revised this system, as it now only takes 7 of the 8 ribbons to get the gold color, likely because the World Ability ribbon isn't available officially anymore.
Yeah.
Before we go into the new ones,
I'm kind of mixed on that, though, because on one hand, it devalues the people who did it. But on the other hand, it makes it accessible for people who weren't around at the time. So I feel that one could be a point of contention. I think I like it more than I dislike it. I think that it's cognizant that, hey, you literally can't get these anymore. Servers are kind of offline, right? So it's not really penalizing players. But as long as the number is displayed, right? As long as there's you did end up getting the ribbon, right? You did end up getting the thing. As long as you're still rewarded for that, that's all that really matters.
Let's go over the returning ribbons in Scarlet and Violet. If you go to the upper section of Cascarafa, you can find a woman standing by this fountain with a Meryl asking if you're friendly with your Pokemon. If you talk to her, you can select a Pokemon that you have and earn the Best Friends ribbon if it has maximum friendship. Similarly, in Levincia, there's a woman in this small park asking if your Pokemon have been putting in a lot of effort. Talking to her will award you an effort ribbon if your Pokemon has maximized its effort values.
Right, EVs.
Finally, the dreaded Master Rank ribbon returns in Scarlet and Violet.
No.
And the rank ladder follows the same award method as Sword and Shields for winning a battle in Master Ball tier. Because Scizor already has these 3, we can move on to the new additions found in Scarlet and Violet. One feature that went unmentioned back when we were in Galar is the title system. This was introduced in Sword and Shield and allows you to highlight a specific ribbon to show off when your Pokemon is sent into battle.
I was curious how this worked. I was curious how the title system works. So it is based off of ribbons. Okay.
Introducing them with a unique title based on which one you chose. There's a unique title for every ribbon, and I like to keep the national ribbon pinned on Toast to show off their unique Shadow Pokemon origin with the title Toast the Triumphant.
That's so cool.
Paldea is special in terms of ribbons as it has another feature that was present in Sword and Shield that I also neglected to talk about.
The classes?
Marks.
Or no?
Marks are basically ribbons by a different name. They appear on the ribbon screen and take the appearance of small symbol stickers that usually show off a personality quirk like the angry mark.
Sure.
Scarlet and Violet have all the same marks as Sword and Shield except for the curry mark, fishing mark, or the misty and dry marks, as there's no curry, fishing rod, or misty and harsh sunlight weather in Paldea.
Sure.
Scarlet and Violet do, however, have many new marks that weren't present in Sword and Shield. These include new marks that function like the Gen 8 ones, like the Alpha Mark, Titan Mark, and Mightiest Mark, which are all guaranteed to be attached to wild Pokemon that meet certain conditions, but also includes new marks that can be earned by a Pokemon after it has been caught, which is entirely new in Generation 9. You may have heard of marks if you've taken the in-game art classes with Professor Hassel, but don't believe everything you learn in school, kids.
I honestly I didn't do any of them. Going through both Scarlet and Violet, I didn't touch the classroom once.
Hassel explicitly mentions 3 new marks as examples you can earn: the Partner Mark, the Gourmand Mark, and the Item Finder Mark. But don't believe his lies. The Item Finder Mark, as of writing, is completely unimplemented and cannot be earned.
What?
As much as Hassel should be fired, we'll have to hunt down the other 2 marks he mentioned. Before we even leave Mesagoza, however, there is a woman here with these 2 Pachirisu. This woman will appraise.
So this is actually one of the things that I've been thinking about in terms of Scarlet and Violet. As far as I'm aware, Miraidon and Koraidon are still shiny locked. Yes, you can find those odd shiny Miraidon and Koraidon. And like, they're not legitimate, right? I think it's like how shiny Victini. We can get shiny Keldeo now. I did misspoke. Someone actually did clarify that we can get shiny Keldeo now, but it's a little bit of a pain to do so. But it is physically possible. The other one would be Victini. Shiny Victini still unobtainable. Like, we're nearing the end of the life cycle of Scarlet and Violet, so it makes me wonder when we're going to implement certain features. You have several Pokemon with the Item Finder Mark now, so it's possible. Okay, cool. So as between this video and currently reacting to it towards the end of August in 2025, it does look like the Item Finder Mark has been implemented in some capacity in the game. So there is an update on that at least.
The size of your Pokemon, which is an internal value that determines slight size variations within the same species.
Right.
If your Pokemon has exactly the minimum size value of 0 or the maximum of 255, she will award it the Mini Mark or Jumbo Mark, respectively.
Okay.
Size is calculated a little weirdly, so I'll do my best to summarize. Most Pokemon have a completely random size value.
Right.
The game rolls 2 numbers from 0 to 128 and 0 to 127, and then adds them together. This forms into a triangular distribution centered on around 128, the middle size. If a Pokemon rolls exactly 2 zeros, or 127 and 128, it will be the minimum or maximum size. But the odds of those exact rolls is 1 in 16,512 each, or 1 in 8,256 for either. If you use a sandwich with the Humongo or Teensy power, the Pokemon you encounter will be guaranteed to only get sizes above or below a certain threshold, depending on the level of meal power you're using.
Right.
The math has already been worked out by Anubis, so here's a table of the odds with each level of meal power, and I'll link to their tweet explaining these numbers in the description.
I love this.
With all of that out of the way, there are a few exceptions you should know about. Any Pokemon caught in a title since Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee will have a random size value already, including event Pokemon from those games. Some Pokemon have fixed size values or can only be found in a certain range of sizes as well. All Alpha Pokemon from Legends Arceus will be the maximum size for their species.
Sure.
Any of the 6 Titan Pokemon you can rematch in Scarlet and Violet will also be locked to their maximum size.
Right.
The Mightiest Mark Typhlosion from its raid event is locked to being minimum size. All other 7-star raid Pokemon are locked to the average size, except for Pikachu, who has a 1 in 16 chance to be the maximum size.
Okay.
Mystery Gift Pokemon have slightly increased odds equivalent to having Teensy and Humongo level 1 meal powers active, and Wild Terra Pokemon on the overworld are also locked into a slightly higher size than usual.
Right.
Finally, a few Pokemon are locked into being exactly average size. These include your starter Pokemon from Director Clavel, the Ruinous Treasures Qianpao, Wo-Chien, Tinglu, and Shiyu, as well as the box legendary Pokemon Koraidon and Miraidon, both the Ride Pokemon version and the second one found in Area 0.
Interesting.
All that being said, there's a strange happenstance with Pokemon that have come from games before Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, that were transferred to Pokemon Legends Arceus before Home's 3.0 release.
I guess we are on a different version of Home, yeah, Home 3.0. I would assume it just rolls a random number, I would assume.
It was noted that before that update, Pokemon in Legends Arceus always had the minimum size for their species. It seems that this phenomenon also affected their scale in Scarlet and Violet. This means that any Pokemon that was caught in a pre-Switch Pokemon game and went to Pokemon Legends Arceus before the Home 3.0 update has had their size set to minimum and is eligible to receive the Mini Mark in Mesagoza.
I wonder, I mean, would you classify that as a bug? Like, would you classify that as an unintended consequence? Because clearly they redid it, right? So hypothetically, you could consider. I don't know. I think size is one of those that's an interesting one to think on. Like, because ultimately it means nothing. Like, sure, it locks you out of marks, right? But they're not ribbons, right? Like, if this was a ribbon and locks you out of ribbons, I feel like a lot of people would be upset. But marks, I mean, sure, they take up slot on the ribbon page, right? But I don't know. This is super interesting because this is also now depreciated as well. Because now it doesn't set it to minimum. Interesting.
Since the 3.0 update, it seems that Pokemon that go to Legends Arceus or Scarlet and Violet now receive a random size as normal. Because Toast went to Legends Arceus to receive the History Ribbon, their size is as tiny as a Scizor can be, allowing us to claim our 90th ribbon, the Mini Mark. The next mark we can earn with Toast is one that takes advantage of all the delicious food the Paldea region has to offer, the Gourmand Mark. This mark is awarded randomly to Pokemon in your party whenever you eat a food item, be it a sandwich made at a picnic or one of the pre-made foods available from the various food carts and restaurants dotted around each city. Whenever we chow down, there's a chance our Pokemon earns a Gourmand Mark.
Okay, so it's just a money check.
The easiest way to this mark in early onset diabetes is to spam A at one of the food stands repeatedly and buy whatever they're selling. The type of vendor doesn't really matter, but we can all agree that churros are the superior food cart snack in this region. After tens of thousands of dollars worth of churro, Toast earns a Gourmand Mark and their 91st ribbon overall. Paldea actually only has one new ribbon proper, and it's exactly what you would expect it to be. During the Victory Road story path, your penultimate challenge is to defeat the Paldea Elite Four and Top Champion as part of the Champion Assessment, earning us the Paldea Champion ribbon. Once you're a certified champion, you can't return to the Pokemon League and retake the test, meaning that you can only defeat Rika, Poppy, Larry, and Liar once per save file.
I was curious about that, because the way he worded it was telling me, wait a minute. So you can actually F yourself out of this ribbon. You can actually mess this up. Wild.
Ribbon collectors don't despair, however, as you can earn more ribbons after you've cleared all of the story paths, Area Zero, and all of the Gym Leader rematches, which will unlock the Academy Ace tournament.
Okay, that's fair.
If you win a tournament here, your party will be awarded the Paldea Champion ribbon once more. Despite this, Scizor has beaten every regional champion set before him, and I'm not just about to break that tradition yet. So I played through the entire game again with a power level 100 Skeledirge just to unlock another match with the Paldea Elite Four. By utilizing Swords Dance and the Terastal phenomenon, Toast was able to defeat the entire league solo, earning their 92nd ribbon, the Paldea Champion ribbon. Now I need to talk about this next ribbon, or I will be bombarded with comments about it till my dying days.
Okay.
In the data for Scarlet and Violet, there exists one more ribbon, the once-in-a-lifetime ribbon. This ribbon is thankfully unavailable to any Pokemon currently. To receive it, all you have to do is give up your Pokemon and any chance you'll ever see them again by putting them into a surprise trade.
Oh no! Oh, what? See, I was about to talk about how marks feel like they're happenstance because while they share the page, right, you really aren't able to control if a Pokemon is teeny or massive, right? Like you really can't control that. That's technically outside of your control, minus the pre-home 3.0 glitch, right? I would call it a glitch at that point. Oh, that feels like that should be a mark instead of an actual medal. That could lead to some really cool interactions. Like I don't know, once in a lifetime interaction where you get a bunch of people together and surprise trade it out, and that one specific person gets it and then trades it back to you. But bro, that is so infinitesimally small to happen, and that's if the person wants to give it back in the first place, right? Wild to me. I could actually also see this being a problem if streamers do this. And this might be a reason, because Nintendo does look at asset, like risks, right? They have a risk management policy, right? It's why during the leaks, right, like Team Skull, some of their aesthetic was changed because of invoking certain imagery and stuff like that. That was all a bunch of like the leaks stuff. So we kind of know what their business strategy is, right? Like we know what they look at in terms of risk assessment, clothes being too short, etc. So an unfortunate interaction could happen here. Let's hypothetically say I was to surprise trade off something with 92 ribbons. Say I did this whole thing, got as many ribbons as possible. Say I got the 92, right? And I traded off to somebody, and someone in chat just so happens to get it, right? And then that person in chat goes, well, I'll ransom this back to you, right? Not that anyone would. We're doing a hypothetical here, right? I don't think it would be a good look for Pokemon or Nintendo to have a news article of, streamer sends Pokemon out to get coveted rare Pokemon ribbon, and person ransoms back for, insert price point here. I think I think we're bordering on paranoia at that point. So this is an extreme hypothetical, but I think this could be something that Pokemon could be considering if this, at time of reacting to this, going into Champions and Gen 10, is something that is still unobtainable. That could be something I could see happening here.
But hence the name, it's also a random chance to even obtain one.
Wild.
There's a guidebook out there that claims it's a 1 in 100 chance, but there is no way that is correct, as likely millions of Wonder Trades have been conducted since Scarlet and Violet released, and no one has seen this ribbon on a Pokemon that wasn't obviously hacked.
Right.
Hopefully this ribbon is never released, as there is essentially no chance you could put a Pokemon you've collected all the ribbons on into a surprise trade and ever have them make their way back to you with this ribbon. Our last earnable Paldea mark is easily the most grueling, the partner mark. The idea behind this mark is cool, but the execution is questionable.
Sure.
The partner mark is earned while walking if your Pokemon in your party have 200 or more friendship. It pops up randomly and swaps itself as the currently highlighted ribbon or mark on your Pokemon, giving them the title the Reliable Partner. It'll do this even if you already have it, so every time you earn it, you'll have to go back to your Pokemon's ribbon screen just to change their title back. The problem with this random system is that once again, Game Freak has chosen ridiculous odds for their random chance. 1 in 100 every 10,000 steps you take.
I think that honestly, something like this, some rare happenstance, infinitesimally small thing, those should be marks, right? Not ribbons. So the once in a lifetime ribbon, yeah, that should be a mark.
This makes it difficult to intentionally get the mark, and even among Pokemon I have done multiple laps with around the Paldea region, I have only gotten this unintentionally once.
Wild.
Like the Gourmand mark, the best way to earn it is just repeatedly trigger its award condition, but this mark often takes multiple hours or even days to assign itself to the Pokemon you want. If you have a rubber band or something similar like a hair tie, you can get on Koraidon or Miraidon and loop the band around the two joysticks on your controller. I recommend doing this on either a wired controller plugged into the Switch dock or a pair of Joy-Cons attached to the Switch while it's charging.
We're doing the thing that I did in Skyrim where I had like 99 lockpicks, or you can have the skeleton key, right? And you tie a rubber band around the one of the Xbox joystick that focuses on you're breaking the lockpick over and over, right? So you like rubber band the right joystick to something, that way you just keep doing it, right? And thus you like just cheese your lockpicking to 100. That's what we're doing here. I love this. Or what is it? The penny underneath the 3DS circle pad, right? Remember that? Oh god, yeah. This is yeah.
As you will likely need to be connected to power so your Switch does not shut down over a long time period. Having the joysticks pulled together like this will cause your ride Pokemon to run in circles, and you can use the dash ability to increase your running speed. Finally, you just need to pick out an area with no obstructions or wild Pokemon. I highly suggest the Cortando Olive Roll Field, as it's a large flat open area where wild Pokemon can't enter, and the only thing you can run into here is the ball that you can just smack away. With this setup, the only real thing you can do from here is wait. After running in circles on Miraidon for so long that this video almost got delayed, Toast earns their 93rd and final ribbon of Paldea, the partner mark. And there we have it, from 88 ribbons to 93, or maybe 90 ribbons and 3 marks. Regardless, Scizor once more has conquered a new region and claimed its achievements for his own. The upcoming Teal Mask and Indigo Disc DLC might even allow more species into the Paldea region, and perhaps even include a new battle facility with more new ribbons to claim. But for now, Scizor can almost literally rest on their laurels, awaiting the next challenge to overcome.
That was so
Thanks
cool
for
to see
following
this.
the newest chapter in Toast's journey, and thanks for watching.
I actually really love seeing this update, and I'm sure he's done an update for the DLCs as well. At this point, I'll have to keep an eye out for him. Going back to the item finder, Mark, how you get is that you send your Pokemon out, and they have them, like instead of auto battle, they collect items, and they have a chance of getting the mark upon collecting them. Okay, so it seems like that's low chance to actually obtain mark, but it seems like it's a fairly reasonable mark to obtain as well. So I actually kind of adore that. Marks, not a huge fan of personally. I think I'm much more of a fan of ribbons. And as I said, I think that there would be potential reasons why they wouldn't actually release the once in a lifetime ribbon. I think that there could be some drama attached with that. It's also going to be by it existing in an official capacity, you know that the hack bonds, any gen Pokemon, I mean that's going to be an auto install. Like, well, this is a once in a lifetime ribbon, and thus trying to have an exclusive once in a lifetime event suddenly, it's not so special because everyone has a quote-unquote once-in-a-lifetime event, right? So I think that should have been a mark instead of a ribbon. I think that's going to be rough if that ever gets released for ribbon collectors. But honestly, this has been a really, really cool thing to see. And I love that even in Scarlet and Violet, right? I mean, they still... Obviously, with the Gita implementation, right? Not a huge fan of that. If anything, you could justify that as on your second playthrough, play through your game the first time, and then... going into your second one, making sure you have a second game, that way you can get all the legendaries, then that's where you get it, right? I could see that being a logical thing, but obviously it obviously makes sense that way you have to still play a second copy of Scarlet or Violet, right? But this was awesome, honestly. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Hopefully you did as well. I had a lot of fun with this. Let me know what your thoughts are. If I stream something like this, would you be interested in this? Would you consider watching more PokeKip streams? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. And let me know what your favorite ribbon is, or what your favorite ribbon achievement is, and I will see you in the